Hi, this is Congressman Guy Reschenthaler, and you're listening to Get Going with Guy, a conservative's guide to cutting through the propaganda of the woke left in the mainstream media, a podcast where hypocrisy has no home. All right, everyone knows the deal, bluff, bottom line up front. Here's the bottom line. Democrats want to defund your local police, yet they want to spend your taxpayer dollars on their private security details. Now, if you don't think that makes sense, because to a first blush, it really doesn't, let me just break through some of the stats or break down some of the stats and show you that as the Democrats defund police, crime rates go up. And when crime rates go up, they then spend your money that you're paying through taxes to protect them. All right. So all summer, we heard the Democrats demean the police. We heard them say that the police need to be defunded, and that had real consequences. Homicides and shootings are spiking all over major cities: Atlanta, New York, Portland, for example, Chicago, LA, Philadelphia. Now, all those cities have two things in common. Number one, as I said, homicides and shootings are skyrocketing, and they're also coincidentally controlled by Democrats who defunded the police. San Francisco, car break-ins are up 750%, not 7%, not 75%, 750% in car break-ins. And you might say, Guy, that's just a car break-in. No, smaller crimes lead to larger crime. It's the whole theory of the broken window theory of policing. Just look at July 4th weekend. 150 people were shot dead in the United States, and you had over 450 shooting incidents. That's just over the July 4th weekend. In Chicago, shootings are skyrocketing. Gun crimes are skyrocketing. It's literally record highs. In one weekend in July, just in Chicago, 56 people were shot. 11 of those people were killed in those shootings. Again, there's an obvious theme to this, and that is that Democrats are defunding and demonizing the police, and crime is skyrocketing. The sad part is, as I said earlier, is that as this goes on, the Democrats, the ruling elite, turn around and use your money to fund their private security detail. In Chicago, I talked about how bad it was just a minute ago. Mayor Lori Lightfoot cut 400 police officers from that force. In that same period of time, she spent $3.4 million on her personal security detail. And you might say, well, Guy, they're always spending that money. No, that's an all-time high for any mayor of Chicago to spend on personal security. And again, taxpayer funded the whole time. New York City, I've said this before in other podcasts. I've certainly said it in Congress. They slashed their police budget by $1 billion. That's billion with a B. During the same time that New York City did that, Bill de Blasio was running for president. You might remember it lasted about 5 seconds, and it was a spectacular failure. It was phenomenal to watch from the sidelines. I digress. As de Blasio was cutting police dollars and miserably failing running for president, he spent about $350,000 in, again, taxpayer money on his private security detail. Baltimore is notorious for crime. They are having crime skyrocket as well. And during that same period of time, the Baltimore mayor and the state attorney in Maryland spent $1.3 million on their personal security detail. I could go on and on about this. If you heard that buzz in the background, it's because I'm in my congressional office and we just got called to vote. But briefly, I want to go through a few more stats. San Diego, $4.3 million paid in police overtime, and another $1 million spent on what? Again, the mayor's security detail. And then the most egregious of all of this is Cori Bush. Cori Bush has been the most vocal anti-police voices, one of the most vocal defund the police advocates, one of the people that always blames the police for everything. Yet she turned around and spent $70,000 from her campaign fund on her private security team. So she's running around saying that your local police force should be defunded. She's using donor money, political money, to pay for her private security team. I guess the only real silver lining in that is that the woke liberals that are donating to Cori Bush are actually funding private security. So there is a little bit of an irony. We can all take a silver lining away from that. But look, ultimately, the Democrats are the party of hypocrisy. They're the party of the ruling elite. They're the party of do as I say, not as I do. And you can see this in full display when they slash police budgets, crime skyrockets, and they turn around and use your money to protect themselves while you're stuck dealing with high crime. It's really just the Democrat agenda on full display. All right, guys, that's enough for today. I got to go vote. I'll see you next time. And as always, just call me Guy.